Imagine it is 3:00 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, the absolute worst time for something to break.
Right, exactly. So you're asleep, and a physical server sitting in this massive data center in Virginia quietly runs out of memory.
Just silently failing.
Yeah, totally silent. There's no smoke, no explosion, just a silent failure in a rack of thousands of other servers.
Mhm.
But if a human being does not intervene and hit a very specific sequence of keys within about, I don't know, 120 seconds.
A regional hospital network's entire patient database goes offline mid-surgery.
Yes, mid-surgery. So the ultimate question is, how do you guarantee that a human being actually wakes up?
I mean, it is arguably one of the most difficult engineering constraints in modern system architecture today.
Really? More than the hardware.
Oh, absolutely. Think
Yeah.
about it. We spend billions of dollars building redundant servers, redundant power supplies, backup generators.
Right, making the hardware invincible.
Exactly. We engineer it to be practically bulletproof. But the ultimate bottleneck for any critical system is always human attention.
Human beings are the weak link.
Always. Guaranteeing that a specific human looks at a specific screen at a specific second is a massive technical hurdle.
Okay, let's unpack this, because today's mission for our deep dive is exactly that. We are exploring how modern high-stakes teams, like the people running our hospitals, our power grids, our cloud infrastructure handle life or death, and critical downtime alerts.
The really high-stress environments.
Exactly. And our source material today is a really comprehensive brand review of an incident response platform called OnPage.
It's a great breakdown.
Yeah, it really is. We are looking at the actual science and technology of forcing human attention when minutes or literally seconds are the difference between a normal Tuesday and, well, a catastrophic failure for you or me.
And to really understand the complexity of the problem, we have to look at the environment where these alerts are actually delivered. I mean, the tool we rely on to deliver a life or death message is just a smartphone.
Right, the same thing we use for everything.
Exactly. It's the exact same piece of glass and silicon you use to play games, scroll through social media, read your family group chats.
So it's just a sea of noise.
A massive sea of noise.
Yeah.
Psychologically and neurologically, we have been conditioned to just completely ignore our phones.
Yeah, it is pure muscle memory at this point. I mean, you feel a buzz, you glance at the lock screen, and you swipe it away before you even consciously register what the text message actually said.
We just clear the screen automatically.
We really do. We are dealing with chronic notification blindness. So how does a critical platform break through that noise? If a standard smartphone notification like, say, a Slack message from your boss or a reminder to drink water is basically just a polite tap on the shoulder in a crowded, noisy room.
Which is very easy to ignore.
Super easy to ignore. But OnPage has to take a completely different approach. They use what the review calls an alert until read paradigm. It's not a tap on the shoulder, it's more like a relentless fire alarm clock that just refuses to stop ringing until you physically acknowledge it.
Well, that's fascinating here is how this represents a philosophical evolution in technology.
How so?
Well, look at the name, OnPage. It intentionally evokes the physical on-call pager vibe from the 1990s.
Oh, right, the little plastic boxes clipped to your belt.
Yeah, those old-school pagers were single-purpose hardware. When they beeped, you knew it wasn't spam.
Right, you knew it was an emergency.
Exactly. OnPage basically took that psychological urgency, that single-purpose utility, and became a trailblazer by bringing that relentless experience to mobile-first smartphones. It reclaims the urgency of old-school pagers, but within a modern interface.
But wait, how does a third-party app actually do that? Like, I know Apple and Google heavily restrict what apps can do. If I'm a site reliability engineer and it's my night off, or even if I'm just trying to sleep, I'm putting my phone on silent, I'm using Do Not Disturb.
Sure, everybody does.
So does this app just politely ask iOS to bypass that? Because normal apps can't do that.
No, they definitely can't. It requires deep integration with the operating system's core architecture. The review points out that OnPage actually overrides a smartphone's silent mode and Do Not Disturb settings.
Oh, wow. It just forces its way through.
Basically, yeah. They leverage specific, highly restricted frameworks, like Apple's Critical Alerts API.
So it's a special entitlement.
Correct. Apple and Google do not hand these API keys out to just anyone. You have to prove your app is used for medical emergencies, public safety, or critical infrastructure. So when OnPage sends an alert, the OS ignores the physical mute switch. It punches straight through focus modes.
That is incredibly comforting for society, but also impossible to ignore if it's your weekend.
Oh, absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
It forces the internal volume to maximum and triggers a high decibel audio file that loops indefinitely. until you unlock the phone and hit the button.
Wow. Okay, so a relentless alarm is brilliant, but let me challenge the system here.
Go for it.
If a tree falls in the woods and the IT guy's phone is completely dead, or he's like incapacitated, does the server still crash? I mean, what if the person on call literally cannot answer? How does the system prevent a single point of human failure?
That is exactly what separates a simple alerting tool from a true fail-safe system. If it just screams at a dead phone, it is completely failed.
Right, because nobody's hearing it.
Exactly. So the system relies on automated escalation and on-call scheduling rotations.
Like a backup plan.
Yes. If the first assigned responder doesn't acknowledge the alert within a set time limit, the system automatically routes it to the next person in the sequence based on pre-configured rules.
Okay, so if I don't answer within 2 minutes, it immediately bugs my manager.
Or your backup, yeah. It cascades down. And the underlying philosophy here is crucial. It's about ensuring that an urgent issue is explicitly owned by someone.
Ah, ownership versus just delivery.
Exactly. By removing messy phone trees and emails where everyone assumes someone else is handling it, the platform guarantees that critical communication never falls through the cracks. It demands a logged action saying, I own this resolution.
Okay, that makes sense. So the system successfully hunts down the right person, the backup engineer finally hits the button, and the fire alarm stops.
They've claimed ownership.
Right, but now that person needs context about the emergency. And delivering that context brings up a massive hurdle, especially for the healthcare clients mentioned in the review.
Data privacy.
Yes, you can't just text sensitive patient data over a standard cellular network. Sending medical details via regular SMS is literally like yelling a patient's medical history across a crowded room.
It's a huge violation. SMS sits unencrypted on cell towers and lock screens.
Exactly. Anyone could intercept it. So how do they get the context securely?
Well, the review details OnPage's secure messaging within the app itself. It doesn't use standard SMS at all.
So it's a closed loop.
Completely closed. It is fully encrypted and HIPAA-compliant, making it essential for healthcare environments. And teams actually use this single app for both their day-to-day chat and urgent alerts, just with different urgency levels.
That's smart. Keep everything in one vault.
Right. But there's a broader scope here too, especially in regulated environments. It's not just about preventing interception. It's about the reporting and audit trails feature.
Oh, right. For legal reasons. Proving what happened.
Exactly. The system tracks exactly when alerts were sent, when they were acknowledged, who responded, and how the incident was handled. It creates a vital legal and operational paper trail.
Because human memory is useless during a crisis.
Totally useless. The audit trail proves exactly who knew what and at what millisecond.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. We now have the secure, relentless chain of command, but who or what is actually pulling the fire alarm in the first place?
Right. Where's the signal coming from?
Exactly, because human beings aren't sitting around manually typing out these alerts while a server rack is actively melting down.
No, by the time a human notices, it's way too late.
Exactly. And that brings us to this massive spider web of integrations. The review lists some really specific technical integrations. They have Datadog, AWS CloudWatch, ServiceNow.
Obviously, heavyweights.
Yeah. And for healthcare, they integrate with electronic health records or EHR systems. They also use custom APIs and email-based integrations.
They even have mass notifications for large groups.
Right, and web dispatchers. The review even mentions how an incoming phone call can be routed directly to the app without delay. It's just wild how connected it is.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the true value here is eliminating the human delay.
Removing the middleman.
Exactly. When a server crashes or a patient monitor spikes, the monitoring system talks directly to OnPage. It instantly notifies the right person without anyone having to manually look up a schedule or chase people down.
So AWS CloudWatch sees the memory spike, realizes it's an anomaly, and just fires the payload straight to OnPage.
Yes. The machine identifies the failure and the machine pulls the alarm.
That is incredibly fast. But let's be real, should the average marketing team or a small retail shop be looking into this, or is this strictly for the heavy hitters?
That's a very fair question. It's about evaluating the real cost of your downtime.
So let's do a quick lightning round of industries based on the review.
Okay.
We obviously have healthcare, so doctors and nurses.
Lives are on the line there, so yes.
Right. Then IT and tech, like DevOps, site reliability, sysadmins.
Where downtime costs thousands per minute.
Yeah. We've also got energy, dealing with pipeline or fire emergencies, manufacturing plants, utilities, and government operations.
Notice who is not on that list.
Right, the local bakery isn't there. And the review is upfront about the cons. There is no free plan. You can get a trial, but definitely not for casual users.
And that's by design. I completely validate your pushback. This tool is exclusively designed for highly responsive teams where downtime causes serious, sometimes catastrophic problems.
It would be overkill for a casual business.
Complete overkill. If a marketing agency's website goes down at 2 in the morning, nobody dies. You fix it the next day. This platform is for when waiting until tomorrow is literally not an option.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've covered a lot of ground today.
We really have.
If we look at OnPage's singular mission, it's all about ensuring critical alerts reach the right person immediately. Because in these industries, minutes and seconds truly matter. They've built this secure, relentless system to mathematically eliminate human error.
It is a vital solution for modern infrastructure, absolutely. But this raises an important question for you to think about.
Oh, what's that?
Well, as technology gets better at guaranteeing we never miss an emergency, how do we engineer our off hours?
That's a great point.
If a platform like OnPage ensures total attention capture when you're on the clock, we must be equally rigorous about enforcing total attention release when you're off it.
You have to be able to disconnect.
Exactly. To protect human minds from burnout in a hyper-connected world, we need psychological walls just as strong as these digital alerts.
That is a phenomenal thought to leave on. The machines know how to wake us up, but we have to know how to let ourselves power down. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Next time your phone buzzes, maybe take a second to appreciate the engineering behind it. We'll catch you next time.